Hey everyone, I'm just popping on with some thoughts that I've had. Lots of awareness coming through with everything that's going on right now, and just taking a lot of time in personal reflection and meditation, and just processing my own emotions around a lot of different things going on in my personal life and just globally. But something that came through from me, I think the last year and a half of my life has been about processing a lot of grief. Grief from this lifetime, from certain experiences I've had, and also from past lifetimes, and integrating those experiences, those stuck emotions that, get kind of in your field, and they can be difficult to work through. So lots and lots of grieving, and every time I thought I was at the end of that cycle, having more come up to the surface. So that can be really exhausting and a difficult process. And I feel a lot of us right now are being triggered on a large scale, all at the same time, different grief and wounds coming up to the light as we have more time to reflect, as we are having certain buttons pushed by the anxiety of just what's going on in the outer world. Being cooped up can set off certain triggers for sure, and perhaps this is a good time to sit with that grief and process it a bit. But that's actually not the point of what I was trying to say. I receive communication from several different soul connections that I have, but if you're familiar with the twin flame journey or a secret partnership or conscious relationship, there's a particular soul that I am deeply attached to, deeply connected with. And last week I was going through a lot of loneliness, a lot of trigger around being by myself and not having him around, and I was just asking this question kind of out into the world: just how many times do I have to lose you? Because I've had a lot of remembrances of multiple lifetimes we've had together where we've, in some pretty horrible ways, we've lost each other. One of us dying, that kind of thing. And just feeling a lot of grief and sadness around that. This idea of, is this what we're going to be asked to do again? Am I going to have to lose you again? I don't think I can handle that. And when I posed that question to his higher self, when I said, how many times do I have to lose you? His response was, well, I'll always find you one more. He can be quite the romantic up there. But I guess that got me thinking, how am I framing my own story? What narrative am I telling myself? How am I viewing my own experience? And it came down to this for me, that we can either look at and focus on the losses. We can look at the loss. We can look at the grief, the pain, the loss. Or we can look at the love, the connection, the infinity, the ties that can't be broken. So we can focus on loss, separateness, pain, or we can focus on love, connection, oneness. And it's really our choice in every moment. Now, we need to process our grief and our sadness, and we need to acknowledge the losses that we feel, but I think it's how are we framing this story in our minds? How are we framing this story here in our heart? What are we telling ourselves about the meaning behind those experiences? And I think for me, it was very important for me to reframe and say, okay, well, and this is what he was telling me is, okay, yes, the losses have happened, these feelings of us being separate or being taken from each other, or the pain that happened. But if I always find you one more time, then what's the real point of this story? The point is not, I've lost you this many times. The point is, I've found you again every time. The point is, our love was not broken by the loss. Our love was not broken by a temporary separation. And that's really cool because we can connect into that infinite love, that cord that isn't severed by any type of loss or separation. And when we're in that space, we don't feel alone. So regardless of if that person is in your physical sphere or not, you can connect into their essence and to the love that you share with them. And when I started to do that, I mean, it's been amazing. There's been some really amazing stuff coming through, and I have not been feeling that loneliness or that sadness in the same way. And every time I go into that space, I say, okay, there's pain, there's a feeling of loss. What's really there? What's really there is that I love this person very deeply. I love this other soul very deeply. So I'm going to flip into that love space instead. And we can do this practice really with any type of loss or fear or anxiety that we have, is we can look at it in a different way and shift our perspective. So I hope that was helpful for somebody out there. It's just what's been going on in my mind lately, and some breakthroughs I've been having. So remember that anything that feels like a loss or something that you're grieving or pain, or even just feeling like you're separate from loved ones right now, how amazing the love that you share with those people, how amazing is that? And so focusing on the energy of that love rather than feeding a sense of loss. So I'm just sending you all so much love today, and yeah, we're doing the thing, and I feel like there are some really positive shifts happening. So lots of love to you. See you next time.